Today I'm going to show you how to customize ChatGPT and its responses. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go up here to the upper right menu here that will be under kind of your icon up right corner, and we're going to go to customize ChatGPT. And you'll see there are a couple of things here. First of all, you can tell it things that you want it to know for its responses. And then the other thing you can do is you can tell it how you would like it to respond. So both of these things you really need to test. So just put like maybe one thing at a time in and just test to see how the response works. So you make sure it's doing what you think it's doing. And there are some things when you put it in here, ChatGPT might ignore. Like you could tell it to create a picture every time it has a response, but it will ignore that, and it's probably because it takes a lot of processor time to do a picture, and so it has to, it doesn't want to be taking up maybe computing time, or there might be some technical reason why it can't do that, and it prefers you to ask it specifically each time. And it probably has more to do with it. You're using up their processing time unnecessarily. So there are some things that it won't do or won't do at this point, so you need to test those. So the other thing that we have down here is it says ChatGPT 4 capabilities. All of these things by default are active, and they're active in here. So you can click this on to enable the customization for new chats, and it's when you change something on here, it's only effective on new chat. Or you can turn this off. So if you had this filled out and you were using it and you wanted to turn off your customizations, you could do this, but it's going to go back to the defaults. So even though these are checked and we're turning this off, by default it's checked, so it will just ignore it. But if we had we turned off the dolly capabilities and we had it on, this would turn it off dolly. But when we turn off the entire customization profile, it will turn Dolly back on, because by default Dolly would be on. I recommend keeping these capabilities all on anyway, but they're on by default, and there's no reason to turn any of these off that I know of. So I'd just leave them on. So we're going to enable this. And the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to let's just save this. So it's the default right now. So there's nothing in here. I'm going to go tell me about polar bears. And it's written a thing out about polar bears. This is just an example. So this is the default format that it comes out in. Say I wanted, for whatever reason, the paragraphs in its response to be numbered so I could reference them, or maybe I need it later when I print them off. I can do that. I can do that by adding into the customization right here, and it would go underneath here. How would you like me to respond? And in here you can experiment with different things like tones and formats and stuff. But I'm going to put. I'm gonna put number each paragraph in all your responses. I'm going to save that. Now I have to start a new chat, because it won't affect this chat, because this chat is from the settings for this is from before I changed the settings. So let's go create a new chat, and I'm going to do the exact same query. Tell me about polar bears, and you can see right now it's numbering all of the paragraphs in it. So you can tell it certain things. But like I said, you need to test it, because some things don't work, at least not right now. Maybe in the future they will. You have to remember they're always changing ChatGPT. So this is just one example. Now, the next example, let's go up here, and we're going to customize it again. And I'm going to get rid of this for now, but you can leave things in both boxes. So you can fill both boxes at the same time, but I'm only going to do one at a time, just to make clear what's going on. And so I'm going to say, I'm allergic to peanuts. And it could be anything, but this is one that I tested out. Now, I'm not allergic to peanuts, but you might want it to know, because although I wouldn't trust 100% if I were allergic to peanuts, that ChatGPT is going to warn me about something that has peanuts in it. It's nice to have it in there, because it's going to try to warn you about peanuts as much as it knows that it might affect you. So we're going to go save right here, and we're going to start a new ChatGPT, and I'm going to say, show me recipe for peanut soup. And so right off it starts off, since you're allergic to peanuts, I recommend avoiding peanut soup entirely. However, if you're interested in similar flavor profile, I can suggest a nut-free alternative or a different type of soup. So it kind of warns you automatically if it knows that you're allergic to something. Like I said, I want to trust it 100%, but it's going to pick up at least some things. So it's going to be helpful if it knows about peanuts and a peanut allergy, or any other sort of thing that you want for it to know about you, and that would affect the way it responds. For example, you might say, I don't have a car, I have to take public transit. And then it may pick up on that in some certain responses where you were asking for directions or where something was. It might say, oh, well, you had to drive, so you'll have to take an Uber or you'll have to take a bus or something. So if that was important to you. All right, so now let me copy this right here. Copy this response. And we're going to go back here and go back to customize. I'm going to remove this. And I'm going to save it. Like I said, you always want to test this. So we're going to start a new chat. So it's using the new changes that I made. And I'm going to ask it the same question for the peanut soup recipe. And now it goes ahead and does it. It doesn't stop and warn me about peanut soup. So those are two of the types of things that you can do as far as customizing ChatGPT. You can tell it things about yourself that you want it to know in relation to your responses. And you can also tell it how you want it to respond, like if you want it to number paragraphs, if you want to use it to use a certain tone with you or whatever. Now, once again, experiment with these things, change things one at a time, open up a new chat and see if it does what you think it's going to do. Because like I said, sometimes it won't do what you think it's going to do, and sometimes it will just kind of ignore the command for various reasons. So always test it, always make incremental changes. Don't do a whole bunch of stuff at once, so that way you can kind of sort out what it's actually changing and doing.